Welcome back to Just Vibing, episode 3 here with Tyler Levy. Just talked a lot about WRSU, the Ride Squad, the band, a lot of things that we're involved with Rutgers, both of us being Rutgers fans, sports fans, and all of our, wonderful experiences. And kind of on that note, yeah, I mean, being in the band, that was truly a great experience for me. It's actually led to me joining WRSU because as a commuter student, I never really took the buses, but because of band, I kind of had to a couple times to get from place to place. And I was going to a party with my friend, a band party, and I saw a sign for like WRSU. Um,
Really? I never knew that's how you found out about it.
yeah, no, it's actually it's a cool story. I think I've said it in maybe like a
I
different
don't
group.
think I've
Like,
ever heard that, and to be
yeah.
honest with
And
you,
I don't think I've told too many people, but yeah, I mean, I guess it'll be out on YouTube if anyone wants to listen to that. So no, that's actually the way that happened because I saw it was like, do you want to be a, play-by-play announcer? Or do you want to be like the other stuff like that? You want to be like a music DJ or news reporter? But the play-by-play thing really, got to me. It was like, you want to call it like Rutgers football and basketball, and I was like, yeah, I mean, that sounds like a really cool idea, and like it was like what I wanted to do, but I never really saw like a real way I could really do it. And I kind of it's still like a tough industry to break into and all, but like at least this gives me like some sort of a path, like like these kind of experiences, like they kind of look for that, like in the professional like world,
yeah,
like the
it's all about
connections and produce, like can you
yeah,
produce, can you call
connections,
games, can we see
connections.
that, like all
You,
that
you, you
stuff.
get like a highlight reel tape. You get
Yeah, exactly. So
experience, right? You don't
this is
get
where you can
paid.
get the calls to make something like that, I
Yeah,
guess, going
you don't get
forward.
paid, but you get the experience and you get
Right. It's like kind of like an
connections.
internship in
Oh
a
yeah,
way, I guess. Or
exactly.
like, yeah.
Well, we don't get paid, but we all say we work for WRSU, right? We don't say we
Yeah. It's
do it
not
for
like
fun. It's not a
it's kind
hobby.
of
It's
more
a
like a
job.
club, it's kind of more than just like your everyday club. It's like
For
really
sure.
time intensive, and you can kind of, yeah, it gives you all these experiences that you, whether it's doing crew or whether it's doing, calling games, producing, like halftime, like whatever, like our shows, like, yeah, like all that stuff definitely can really come in handy. Because you can say you've done all these things, and you'll be a step up on, people who haven't, and like that's what the industry, I think, wants to see, and you can probably, parlay that into like actual internship at like the fan or like some other
Absolutely. I
station
mean,
or
look how
something
many
like that,
people we
maybe.
have who are in RSU who currently work for people in the media or graduated and now have jobs like that. I mean, we have so many and it's great. But I always am sitting on the bus, I'm like, man, nobody ever looks at this nonsense up top. But I guess it worked because you looked at it. So guess whoever decided to put that up there did a good job.
Yeah. Wait, are you referring to
But
like the poster like behind
yeah,
you?
like the advertisements, I didn't know people
Oh,
wanted.
the yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that really caught my attention. I was like, wow. So you never know like what one thing can lead to. Like I was originally not really even gonna join the band. I was kind of like, oh, it's a high school thing, and like none of my friends are from the JP band. Well, now like some of them did, but back then like a lot of them didn't really want to because it's really time consuming in college. A lot of people want to focus on their majors, but I happened to join it because I was like, like with COVID, it was kind of like everyone was just by themselves, and I didn't really have like a ton of friends, and it was just I didn't really have the college experience, and I like music, I like sports, like the whole thing kind of really lined up, like getting to be at the football games, perform, um, and yeah, it's really turned into like a lot more than I could have ever imagined, like connecting me to
You met
this
a
and
lot of friends in the
doing
band
all of
though.
that. Yeah, I would say so. I'd say like I was
That's
more
what
close
college
with my
is about more.
wait, what?
I think that's what college is about. It's not, first of all, yeah, we just talking about that. The band in college is cool. I
Yep,
mean, don't
yeah,
get me wrong. Football and basketball players at Rutgers are still going to walk around and be the coolest kids on campus because
yeah.
that's just life. But
It's just what it is, but
people don't look down on the band. People are like, the band's cool. And
everyone loves the
I'm
band at
sure there's
Rutgers.
some
Right.
weird kids in the band that people like, yeah, it's a weird person. But I think there's weird people everywhere.
I think most people are pretty like well
I think
liked
the
and
Riot Squad. I
chill.
think people look at the Riot Squad and they don't think they probably think we're a little bit weird when we're wearing wolf masks
Yeah,
around
that
town
I
and the
guess.
way we dress. We got jerseys, we got hats, we got accessories,
Like I like in the Christmas suit. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
I
crazy.
like in the Christmas suit, which I expect to see brought back. If not, I'm going to be very sad. I hope to see that back because that's a fun one. I really likes that. But
Yeah, that's cool.
so they're like, okay, those guys might be weirdos, but then I also think it was like, okay, like nut jobs, they're crazy, like what they
Yeah.
say, like they're literally nuts. And
Eh,
but college is all about finding where you belong and finding
exactly.
people that are
Yeah,
like you.
yeah,
So
yeah,
Ride Squad are like-minded people like me who everybody loves sports. Everybody
hmm
loves to be involved. Everybody loves to get involved and cheer and go crazy and talk sports. And
exactly.
I met my best friends there, and then I met my best friends at WRSU talking about sports too, doing something that we all want to do for a career. It's
Yeah, that's the cool part. Like we all have like similar
yeah,
goals, and where this is kind of like our starting point in a way. Like this is kind of where all of that
absolutely,
starts. Yeah,
absolutely. There's no how many of these guys who call these big games went to nothing schools. It's not like football where you got to go to Alabama. Basketball, you got to go to Duke, UNC. You can be anywhere, and if you're good,
yeah, and yeah, exactly.
getting
People
opportunities,
recognize you, and
you
you'll
keep
get
getting
opportunities.
opportunities, and you keep working hard, and pull the opportunities higher, higher, higher. And I think that's what we're all trying to do.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, ideally, like I guess on that note, like what would your like dream like career in the industry be? Like, do you want to do like play by play and like call big games and stuff
I would
like
love to
that?
do I would love to do play-by-play on off. If I had to pick, I'd probably want to be a head coach.
Ooh, head
I,
coach,
I
interesting.
love. I'm a very good motivator. I'm a very good leader. So I'd be very good at rallying a team around me, motivating them to do a job, leading them, right? But also, I love that locker room, man. There's something about being on a team, the chemistry, what goes on in that locker room. It's magical, and I love the involvedness, right? I love being involved in the action. I love competing. I'm a very competitive person. I'm one of the most competitive people I know, if not the most competitive person I know.
Yeah.
And I love competing, and I love the mind games of the game. But I also think because of that, it's what makes me good at play by play. Because when you play by play, I want to be the best. So I'm always going to compete with myself and compete with others to be the best. But because I have such a knowledge of the strategic approach and how to coach, I can break things down. Like I remember when I called the baseball game with Ellis. It was May 12th versus Illinois, something like that, right? Friday night game, Saturday night game, something like that, right?
Mm,
And against and I remember calling it. I was just like breaking down. We had Christian Capola on the mound, and I remember breaking down. Okay, he was really his fastball kept missing high, and his slider kept missing away. Well, anybody can say that, but because I played baseball my whole life, because I pitched, because I know how to coach and explain things to fix it, I was able to really do in-depth, breakdown when I was doing color
hmm
on. Okay, well, he's landing the front foot good. Front hip is a little open on a fastball. He's opening the shoulder both times. Doesn't matter. He's opening the shoulder. And what happened was, and I can kind of do like a little visual now. So he's opening the shoulder, see the chest. And I literally said this. We got an R right here on the left. Can't really see it. Right here. We got a little R. Watch
hmm
this. You should not see the R from a right-handed pitcher. Right? You shouldn't be able to see that. It should be close, close, close. You can't see it. You can't see it. And then bang. But you can see it. That means he's opening up. So when he opened up on a fastball, he's releasing the ball here, a little too high, too early. I should really say early release. Fastball's high. On the slider, there's it. He was opening the shoulder and pulling it sidearm and releasing it late. Releasing it late, he was pulling it too far, and so it was away and low. I don't really know too many other people that can do a quick breakdown like that and
mm.
pick up something that small. At
Yeah.
least at WRSU, and that's not me trying to feel big of myself or anything like that. I mean, I know there's a lot of people that like baseball, and a lot of people that can break it down. I think like basketball, people can break down more like zone defense, man defense, offensive coverage. I'd like to see somebody else try to break down the technical approach like that because I
Hmm.
don't think it can be done. And if it can, good for you. I know I'm not the only one in the world. If I was the only one in the world
Right.
who could break down how to pitch, I'd be making $1 billion a year for whatever MLB team, probably the Mets because they have that much money, or the Yankees, right? And I
Yeah.
would teach every single person how to pitch, and that team would win the World Series because nobody else knows how to pitch.
Right.
Everybody knows how to, but first game ever to break it down like that, in my mind, I
Yeah.
think is pretty cool and different, and that's why I'm really excited for baseball games this year because I want the chance to call more, and I want the chance to prove myself as like the have Eddie and Dylan, our two managers at WRSU
Hmm.
be like, this Tyler kid is pretty darn good at baseball, and we should let him do a lot of baseball games
Yeah.
because he's really good. Even just like in basketball, I want him to be like, listen to me, like, you know what? He's really good in basketball. Like, we should give him like some big games to call because we know he can nail the big games.
Right. Right.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
He can nail the big football games. And that's part of it. I'm competing with everybody at
Yeah. We
WSU.
all we all kind of are. We're all like supporting each other. We're all kind of competing for the
Yeah,
same
exactly.
cause,
We're
which
all
makes it like
supporting each.
interesting.
Yeah, we're all supporting each other, and we all want the best for each other. But it's kind of like when you're on a team. Somebody's
Yeah.
going to be the starter, and somebody's not, and you're going to be competing, and you're going to cheer on the starter if you're the backup, and if you're the starter, you're going to cheer on the backup. But
Yeah.
at the same time, the starter's going to want to stay the starter, and the backup's going to want to become the starter. So you got to
Right.
keep competing, and that's
Yeah.
kind of
You
what it is.
gotta stay on top of things, and
Yeah, you got to keep competing with each other
yeah.
to get the bigger calls, and that's what I'm
Exactly.
doing. And
Yeah.
as far as baseball goes, without sounding, narcissistic and full of myself, I'd like to see somebody call a baseball game with the extent of knowledge I have. And
That's
I don't know
fair,
anybody else.
honestly.
I don't know anybody else at WSU who played baseball in high school
See
and
that I
played
think yeah,
baseball
like that's why and
their entire life, not just one season, but I used to play fall. I played summer. I played
mhm,
spring. I did winter training. I played on multiple teams, whether it's my high school team, travel teams, club teams, stuff like that. That baseball is my life, and it still is. And because a lot of people know baseball, but it's the small things. Like
yeah.
I might not be the best play-by-play at baseball. I think I'm pretty darn good, and I think I'm one of the best. But as far as color commentary, I'd like to see somebody else break down things like that at the extent I can. And again, I'm not trying to seem full of myself. It's just it's part of the game, right, Arnav? That's you know it. You do the same thing I do. You know
Mhm.
that if somebody has that much more knowledge and advantage, they can go. Like if somebody comes in and played basketball,
Yeah.
Ellis is really knowledgeable in basketball,
Mhm.
and he can probably really break down how to beat his own defense better than most people here,
Yeah.
right? Or there's just somebody or Eddie, a DA who's done football for 3, 4 years now,
Right.
talking about different things that they've noticed from watching and they've
Mhm.
learned over the years. Yeah, it's an advantage.
It
It's
is.
definitely
Yeah.
an advantage. But
Yeah.
playing baseball like that, I think it gives me one good. And again, that's why I'm excited to do more because not only do I have a lot of fun with it, but I want people to hear, and I want the people who make the decisions to be like, he's pretty good. Let's make
Yeah.
sure he gets the biggest baseball game. Let's sure he's really getting a lot of games when he wants to because he's pretty good at it. And baseball is my main sport, and I've said it for a long time. I want to
Mhm.
call baseball games for the Mets or Yankees. That would be my dream to be the
Yeah.
next Michael K, be the next Gary Conan.
Uh-huh.
No, but that doesn't mean I don't want to do basketball because basketball is a lot of fun and we got a great
It
team and
it
I
really
want to
is.
call those
Yeah.
games and I want to be the best there too. And football, well, football's probably the hardest, but I know I
I
can
would
do
say
it.
so.
I know when I get the opportunity, I'm gonna kill it, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
prove to people like, okay, give him a big game too, and it's a competition. And again, I'm a very competitive person. I'm probably one of the most competitive people you'll see. I mean, I haven't played basketball on a Wednesday night
Uh
in about 2 months now.
yeah, I've kind of taken
Because of my
some weeks
injury, I haven't
off
been able to
too.
play in 2 months. But
Right.
when I used to play, I definitely think I was one of the most, if not the
Oh
most
yeah,
competitive people
I
in the world.
remember that game, the WRC Targum game. You're going at it for
You
every
got to get it.
shot.
You
So
got to get at it. I'm a competitive person by nature. That's not going to
There's
change.
nothing
And
wrong with that. Yeah.
yeah, it's not that I don't have fun. I have more fun than anybody. Not
Yeah.
only do I try harder than anybody, and I'm more competitive than anybody, but I also have more fun than anybody because I just love it. It means so much more to me. It's just people are wired different. I'm not saying people don't love sports. I'm just saying my love for sports is greater than other people, and that's you're wired to do different things. It got to the point where calling the Fairfield Rutgers women's basketball game, never couldn't tell you one person on the Fairfield roster until the day before when I started researching.
Hmm.
5 minutes into the game, I knew every single girl on that roster. Didn't have to look at the call sheet. Didn't have to look at my notes.
Right.
Didn't have to look at stats. Didn't have to look at fun facts I put down for them. Everything was just instantly in my head after 5 minutes. Just wired that way. Just
Yeah.
some people have it, some people don't. I have it. I'm very grateful and very fortunate that
Right.
Josh, even in the second half, nothing to Josh. He did a hell of a job. He absolutely killed it, and I couldn't have asked for a better partner for my first game. But Josh sometimes had to look down, or sometimes it's called somebody this name when it was this name because he's never seen them before. That's expected. It's if we're calling Iowa women's basketball, well, everybody knows Caitlin Clark.
Right.
Mess her up. He didn't mess anybody up on Rutgers because he knows them. He writes for the Targum for Rutgers women's basketball. He's at every single game.
Hmm.
We've never seen Fairfield basketball before. We've never even seen them on TV. We've never heard of them before. We've never heard of
Right.
any players before because they're all from high school to Fairfield. There are no big transfers really going from a big college to Fairfield.
Right.
And so you expect him to look. I mean, everybody has to look. I had to look. But then after 5 minutes, it just clicks. And
Yeah.
again, I think it gives you a one up because now you're comfortable. Because now I'm really comfortable. And I also think I had an advantage because Josh did the whole first half. So by the time I was doing play-by-play,
Mm.
not only did I
e-
have them memorized after
Exactly.
the 5 minutes, but I kind of knew they standing on the court too. And so I had a whole half to also really learn. So once I did that, it was over. The comfortability was high and could ride with it. And again, I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I really do. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was kind of like, yeah, like my first game kind of felt the same way, but the more you practice, the better you get and more comfortable you feel. And yeah, so a lot of cool stuff. But for tomorrow's I guess tomorrow's football game against Maryland, kind of I
Big
guess a
game.
tie. Wait, what?
It's a big game. Yeah,
It
it's
is. Yeah.
last home
It's the
game of the
last
year.
home game, last game of the season. Both teams are 6-5. I'm actually gonna be there, kind of tying in with the band. I'm scoring one of my friends for senior day, so I'm actually gonna get to have another band type game day with them, and that's what really got me into Rutgers sports. I was never too much into college sports in general until I guess I got into Rutgers, and then but really being in the band, seeing it up close, and seeing how crazy things got, and that just really got me into Rutgers football. And now I'm just like a huge college football fan. I love it. Like that's the whole game between Ohio State, Michigan's got me like amped up too. But so does Rutgers, Maryland. I mean, it's going to be a good one. Both teams clinch bowl eligibility. They're 6-5. One team can go 7-5, and then yeah, I mean, Rutgers is like a 2-point underdog, but I think it's about a 50-50-ish game, and I think the
I
winner has a
completely
chance
agree.
to avoid the pinstripe. So I think there's a lot to play for.
Everything. Well, first of all, everything you said has been spot on. I could not agree more. Right, 50-50 game, 2 point underdog on paper.
Hmm.
Really 5 point underdog because in football you get 3 points just for being the home team. But
Right. Yeah. So
again, it's
really
a
good.
50-50
Yeah.
game, and we'll talk about that game real quick. But I just want to say something. You said you weren't into Rutgers sports before you were in the band. That's why I think the band's great. Is
Exactly.
it gets kids who don't really care about sports into sports. But at the same time, there's plenty of kids in the band who don't care, and
Yeah, I think
it's a
because
problem.
yeah,
I don't know what it is. We gotta maybe let me talk to the band on of maybe we get me
yeah, you got to get
the
them
riot
more into
squad.
the. I think
Maybe
for
we gotta
me,
get me and the
we're
riot squad to go and talk to the band and be like,
yeah,
listen,
you guys should. I think that could
you
actually make a difference.
guys gotta you know this has been our lives. You know, I've been watching these people my entire life. I know all the history and everything like that. You might not have to love sports, but these are your peers. And if you want these people to cheer for you, well, you gotta
Hmm.
cheer for them. And there's plenty of kids in the band like they cheer,
Right.
and they're cheering, but they're not cheering. You know what I mean? They're not.
Yeah, I know. There's
They're,
there's
they're,
there's
they're,
always like a little bit
you
of
know, I'm gonna phrase it different. They're cheering, but they're not rooting.
they're cheering and
If
they're
that makes
playing,
sense.
but
Like
they're not.
exactly, they're saying the cheers, but they're not actually rooting for their team.
I feel what I see what
You
you
know what I
mean.
mean? Like there's no
Yeah.
passion. There's no sense of
Yeah.
urgency.
I
There's
think because like
no
for me, like I was a
feel.
pro.
They're just like, let's go, Rutgers. They're not actually
There's
screaming at the top of their
Yeah, I
lungs.
think there's a
Let's
couple of
go,
reasons
Rutgers.
for
There's
that, but
passion.
like yeah, for me, like I was a pro sports fan like I don't know about my whole life, but definitely for like years before. And like, you know how crazy I get about like the Giants and hating teams and whatever I do.
Yes.
But like, I mean, I had that background. So coming into college sports, even though I wasn't that big before, like that kind of energy shifted
Yeah.
towards Rutgers. So now if you've
But
never
that's
watched
the thing.
sports
Not everybody's
your
a
whole
college
life,
sports fan. Yeah,
but if you,
not everybody's a college sports fan. Not
yeah.
everybody's a sports fan in general. So to them, they just don't. To them, they're like,
That's yeah. So if
band.
you're not like either, and then you're just kind of doing it mainly to play music, like there's only so much. And then especially when you see Rutgers getting blown out, like I think that also has an effect on it. There's like, oh man, like me and my friends used to kind of be like, oh, same old Rutgers. Now they're kind of getting better, but like
Yeah,
I think all of
there's
that kind
that.
of combines to like, ah, it's just it is what it is. Like
There's that Rutgers stigma that
we're here for the music. You know what I
there's
mean?
that
Like
Rutgers
that's kind of
stigma we need to break, and we're gonna break
yeah.
it. And I promise that we're gonna break
We're
it.
on our way. We really are. I
Absolutely.
feel
But what's gonna happen eventually is that, well, these people need to just care. And I don't like seeing the band dancing when we're losing. You know, when there's a clip of a guy in the band dancing.
Oh, that was the
I
funniest
do.
thing. Like he was, yeah.
I don't find it funny. I find it
Oh, I mean,
why are you dancing when
that
we
was
just
when we were
went
losing to
down.
Ohio State, right?
Yeah, and it was just when they scored that final touchdown with like 30
Oh,
seconds left. So there's 30 seconds left in the game. We're down by 18, and you're dancing in celebration. I don't
no, I
know.
don't think it was related to that. I think he was just trying to have a good time, like
But
despite the
but
loss.
but if he cared,
He would be like disappointed, I guess, and
exactly.
sad.
And
Yeah,
I'm not saying don't have fun because again, win or lose, nobody's having more fun than me. I mean,
right.
I played on baseball teams and softball teams where we've been bad. I mean, we've gotten mercied every single game, and we were the worst team in the league. But for years, we said, "Hey, no team's having more fun than we are, though," and it was true, and it's still true. Win or lose, nobody's having more fun than teams I'm on because they were having fun. But B, I'm bringing the fun, and win or lose in the student section, I'm bringing the fun, I'm bringing the jokes, I'm
Hmm.
bringing the energy, and I'm bringing the
You
good
gotta,
times and
you
everything like that.
gotta.
But at the same
I see what you
time,
mean, though. I
you
know what you.
don't you don't do that, and it's just something you don't do.
Yeah,
That just comes from not caring, That's not coming from
yeah,
having fun. It just comes from not caring. Like have fun. I want the band to have more fun than I don't want anybody to have more fun than me. I want to have the most fun because I'm selfish. But
right.
after me, I the band can have a lot of fun, and
Yeah, we
but
really
you gotta
do.
care. You gotta care.
Yeah,
You gotta
I
care in a position.
agree.
Because I'll tell
Yeah,
you what, these other bands and other schools care more than Rutgers, and that's the issue. Is that
I see. Like about the actual
Rutgers,
football on the
we
field.
have the most diehard fans because we suffer the most. So the
Yeah.
people who
So
go to every
yeah.
single game and cheer the last, well, they're the most diehard fans in the whole country. But
Hmm.
we don't have the quantity of those diehard fans that other teams have. We need more of that quantity of those real diehard fans. We're the best diehard fans. We're the most devoted. We're the craziest for the last of everything. But we need more of them. And if we have a band of 350 kids, well, I'll tell you what, a lot of people in that band join just to do the parade. And now they're going to stay just to go to London. They don't even care that much about the band itself. They just want
Yeah,
the
I see what you mean.
A season and going to London. Well, you know what? You don't get to do that stuff if we don't do a good job. So you got to do a good job in the band. And you
Right. Yeah.
do a good
Game
job
days
here.
is where it really starts, and.
But I'll tell you what, they're going to get a nice standing ovation when they come out for pregame
Oh yeah.
on Saturday. They're going to
Oh
get
yeah. Oh
hopefully
yeah.
a sold out same standing ovation. And I'll tell you who else should get a standing ovation, and that's Kyle Monangai, right, leading rusher
Hmm.
then,
Hmm.
and he's going to be the success to to the game tomorrow on because
I agree. You definitely.
Maryland's run defense, excuse me, is pretty lackluster. And this is a Rutgers offense that when they've run the ball with success, they've won games, or at least have been in games. They really weren't able to run the ball too much in the second half versus Ohio State, and you can see what happened in the second half, right? Pick six, game kind of
Mm.
ended there. Could not run the ball to save their lives in Iowa and got blown out. And then they ran the ball against Penn State. They just weren't able to finish. Similar to the first half against Ohio State, like they ran really well, they just couldn't finish in the red zone. Well, they ran the ball pretty well against Penn State too. But Maryland does not have a good run defense. We can run all over them. And if you run all over them, eventually you're going to have to try to stop the run so much that it's going to open up the passing game.
Yeah.
And once the passing game opens up, you can start working around. And Menendez is also an unbelievable blocker. He's been talked about numerous times on
Yeah.
NFL Network and ESPN about his blocking ability. So
Mhm.
when he's the lead blocker, just a design QB jet sweep, just go Gavin, follow Kyle. Kyle's laying the wood. Gavin can follow. It's adding more rushing yards. It's great. Defensively, Bambury's a great running back for Maryland, right? But we can stop the run. We've stopped great running backs: Blake Holm, Donovan Edwards, Travion Henderson, Allen, and the other one on Penn State, not Allen,
Singleton.
Singleton. Thank you. Um, right, we've stopped these great runners. We stopped Braden Allen in Wisconsin, right? So
Hmm.
stop
Yeah.
the run. Talia Tagovailoa is going to be the key, and
Yeah.
if we
Very
can
good
stop
passer.
him,
Yeah. Mhm.
if we can stop him, and he's very streaky. And Maryland offense is very streaky themselves. But
Yeah.
if we can
They've had a
contain
weird
him,
season because they started 5-0, then they kind of lost a few games, and then
we
they
started six and
clinched
two.
bowl. Exactly. We're also kind of like trending in the wrong direction right now, but
Well,
we have
it's
a
what
chance to
happens when
save
you play
that.
the yeah, it's what happens when you play the big dogs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Ohio
at
State,
the end of the
Iowa,
year,
Penn
right? If
State.
we played the
Yeah.
big dogs in the beginning of the year, we would have been on a 3 game winning streak, right? And it
Right.
wasn't
And then
right?
exactly.
Like, oh yeah, we win this game because we won three in a row instead of lost three in a row. But
Yeah.
Coach
It's all
Fiala
about the
says
opponent.
each week is a season. Right? He doesn't look at it
Yeah.
week to week,
I
and looks at
agree.
a
Yeah.
1 game season. Everything
One
we
of
do is at
Fiano's big
seasons, and once it's
catchphrases.
over, the
Yeah.
next season
Hmm.
starts, and that's what it is. Well, this is a new season. This whole week has been a
The
season.
Maryland season. We're gonna go
Maryland
one and
season,
zero in the
exactly.
Maryland season, as
Yeah,
Greg Schiano would say. So
yeah.
yeah.
Thanksgiving was thrown into the mix, but Thanksgiving was thrown into the mix for Maryland too. So we got to just work on it and get ready to go.
Hmm. Yeah.
Also,
No.
what a
Yeah.
flawless transition into this from band to here. What a
I know.
flawless. I mean, that's why
Yeah.
they pay us the big bucks on off. I think we
We really did set that up well.
we
Yeah. And it
both
kind
should
of
get
all
a
does
very
relate.
we
But
both should get a
yeah.
nice raise. Get a nice raise from WRSU in our paycheck. We get paid the big bucks already, but really showing our skill and gifted
Yeah.
ability there.
We've got that chemistry from all those times we did crew, I guess, probably in there.
Absolutely,
So that
absolutely.
helps, I think.
I
Yeah.
think you and I probably done more crews together than anybody's done crew with anybody else before. I mean, you and I probably done more
Probably.
shows
Because
together.
we've done all these like just me and you. So like
Yeah,
that.
all
Yeah.
those summer shows, just you and me, and then all the other, Wednesday we're
And the
together.
Wednesdays.
I mean, everything when you add it up, you and I have been on more shows together than I think you and I have been on shows where we have been together by
With
far.
yeah,
We've been
I
on
would
more
think
shows together than any other duo at all.
probably. Yeah, probably compared to any other duo. I would think so. Yeah, so Rutgers, Maryland, Kamanungai has he's almost definitely gonna eclipse 1,000 yards. He's first in the Big Ten. So I mean, yeah, it's gonna be a good one tomorrow. And then bowl
And
season.
Max
I'm
Melton,
excited.
final home game for Max Melton. I'm expecting him to make a big play. Maryland's going to look to really throw the ball, and Talia's going to try to test him. And he had a pick against Iowa. I think he will probably get an interception. Senior
Hmm.
day, all lining up perfectly. You could probably get an interception.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Rutgers definitely does have a good chance of getting an interception in that game on Talia. Yeah, so final 10 minutes. Why don't we go a little bit of rapid fire, talk some of the other college football stuff and some NFL. I kind of want to get some Giants Jets in there too. But so the game tomorrow, Ohio State, Michigan. What are you thinking about that one?
Um, What's funny is I was texting my family because I have some family who went to Michigan and are big Michigan fans, and
Hmm.
I was asked about my thoughts on the game last Saturday night after the Michigan Maryland game, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna read exactly what I wrote because this is exactly how I feel.
Oh,
Again, this is taking place last Saturday. Michigan just played Maryland, so I said Michigan was up big today and got caught looking ahead. Won a close game on the road in the rain, but it's still a win nonetheless. A home game is massive. It's the first home game they've played since Harbaugh has been suspended and will not
right.
be on the sidelines. They've had two road games, so
Yeah.
the crowd's going to be pretty amped about that situation as well. So when you have no Harbaugh, the crowd's going to be furious about that.
Hmm.
Then you add the fact that it's the game against your biggest
Yeah.
rival
Yeah.
down south. Add that they have game day. Add that they have big noon. Add that. I mean, the
Oh my
energy is going to
goodness.
be
It's gonna be insane.
unmatched. Probably the loudest, craziest game in the last few years, in my opinion. Um, as far as in-game analysis, as Michigan can run the ball well versus them as
I
well
think
as
so
throw
too.
the ball. I've been very upset in the lack of game planning to have JJ McCarthy run the ball more. He definitely needs to run the ball more. Last two games really has not been. Jim Harbaugh is allowed to be at practices, so the game plan is all week will be his. It's not like he's completely uninvolved in the suspension. The defense will be fine with Will Johnson and Mike Sanders still out wide. Will Johnson probably going to call it Marvin Harrison Jr. as he's a bit taller, more athletic. Meckenbuch was a bit faster, guarded by Mikey Sanders, still former wide receiver, who made a phenomenal play last year on
I remember that.
Bartek Chris Jover. Punched it out
Yeah.
of the end zone. Dude, what a play. Not to mention, Michigan did not have Blake Corum last year, and
Yeah.
thought they had a torn labrum in his shoulder before he got surgery. Um, the last 2 years, it's been said that Michigan is built not to win a national championship, but is built strictly to beat Ohio State. I think this is a national championship level team.
I think this year they
However,
are too.
they are built to beat Ohio State. Their strength of schedule is hurting them right now in the rankings, but it's not their fault. With the exception of out of conference, you don't schedule who you play for conference games. More importantly, there's way too much pressure on Ryan Day, and he will implode.
Oh
It
boy.
might not be another 25-point spanking like the last 2 years, but I feel Michigan will win a very close game.
Uh,
Um, that team down south is without their top running back, and McCord is just a really bad quarterback. I mean, we know he's a bad quarterback. Arnav, you called the game where
yeah, very
he
average, I'd
talked
say.
from the press box. He
Very
wasn't
average. Yeah.
that good. McCord's just very fortunate he has Harrison Jr. and Egbuka to throw to. Their defense
Mhm.
is good, but not great. They are
I
ninth
mean, they're
in the
pretty
Big
good, but
Ten
I
in
agree.
rushing defense.
Mm.
They're really good defense, top five defense, but ninth in rushing doesn't really help your case when Michigan loves to run the ball, have that two-headed snake with Corum and
I
Edwards, really that
know. They didn't even have
three-headed
Corum
snake
last year.
when you
That's the
throw
thing.
McCarthy in there, exactly. And best offensive line in the country, they're going to win for the third year in a row.
Trenches, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. The only thing that's been an issue lately is JJ's accuracy has been down since the bye week prior to the Purdue game. He needs to get that back on track. He was leading the nation in passing completion, and his accuracy was on point. Hasn't been the same since. Um, if he gets on track, they'll be fine in the passing game, as well as letting Blake Corum take over. He was hurt last year and didn't get to play in the big game. Didn't really play the year before either because Hassan Haskins, every time he touched the ball, seemed to find the end zone. He had 5 rushing touchdowns, right? You mean, who does that?
Mhm.
Um, Donovan Edward hand a cast on his play with a club on his hand and still ran all over that Buckeyes defense. That was my breakdown, and I
Wow.
stand. I,
That's
I mean,
very,
I can go a lot more in depth. I know we don't have all the time in the world when I talk about other games. I could go a lot more in depth,
yeah. I think that's pretty good, honestly.
but
Yeah.
our Michigan offensive coordinator, acting head coach Sean Moore after the Penn State win in tears on the sideline
Hmm. I
after the
remember that.
win, very excited. he's gonna have them ready. Jim Harbaugh is gonna have them ready. He's gonna have them ready. Mike Hart, former Michigan running back, NFL running back, I think he's a great running back coach. He's gonna have Corum and Edwards ready. Corum and Edwards have also been breaking rushes. They have not broken those big rushes
Mm,
all season. Last 2 games, they're breaking those rushes, and that's dangerous. And let's remember, Ohio State was winning at halftime last year. Ohio State was winning at halftime 2 years ago.
mm,
They were in the game halfway through the quarter. It's like a boxer. Body blows, body blows, body blows. These
yeah,
these 2, 3, 4 yard runs. They keep pounding and pounding, and next thing you know, the knockout blow comes and they break one for 65 yards, 70 yards. They also threw they had a 40-yard touchdown last year to Colston Loveland on a little wheel on a block and release wheel route from the tight end spot down the right sideline. They had a huge bomb to Cornelius Johnson, 69
I
yards down the
remember
left
all of that.
sideline.
All of that.
Khalil
Yeah.
Mullings, the linebacker, turned running back, came in on fourth down, got a handoff, did a little jump pass to Peyton O'Leary.
Mm,
Um, they're ready. They're gonna be
yeah.
ready. There's too much pressure on Ohio State.
Yeah.
Too much pressure.
Honestly,
I think
yeah.
that
Yeah.
I think that if Ohio State loses, they can still probably make the playoffs based on their strength of schedule. Michigan probably can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think they win at home.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard
It's gonna
for
be hard
them
to beat.
not. It's gonna be hard for Ohio State. Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with that, but I mean, I thought there was some blood in the water because I feel like Ohio State was rolling and Maryland kind of, almost gave Michigan a good game, but then Michigan gonna come back at home and I'm sure they'll be ready.
It's not,
And they matched
you
up really
know,
well with Ohio State,
yeah,
so
yeah. It's something about matchups. It's absolutely about matchups. What you sometimes you just match up really well against a team, and I think Michigan matches up really well against Ohio State. They can out physical them.
yeah,
I think Ohio State has a false sense of security. Oh, Harbaugh's not on the sideline. We got this. He's
yeah,
he's so in their head rent free. He is so in their head rent free, and they have such a false sense of security that just because he's not there, it's gonna go. I mean, remember 2 years ago, Ronnie Day said we're gonna hang 100 on him.
yeah,
It better be a mercy rule. We're gonna hang 100 on him. They lost. And then last year, oh, it was a fluke. It was a fluke. Happened again.
yeah,
Famous quote. Some people are born on third base and think they hit a triple.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's true until they beat Michigan again, at least. So,
I'll tell you what, he better be ready because he has that false sense of security thinking they're gonna win, and when they lose, they're gonna want his head on a stake, man. He's gonna be
they
called
will.
some
Ohio
things.
State fans will be furious.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not gonna end well. It's not gonna be pretty. They're gonna want to really keep attacking. So, you know, his job's on the line too. Who really knows what's gonna happen with Michigan and everything, but Jake Butt on Big Ten Network, and you go on his Instagram, he posted what he would say his locker room speech would be, and it was very inspiring, and it went along the lines of quick, and I'll keep it quickly. Everything out there doesn't matter. All that matters is what we know in here, what goes on in here. You have one game. It's bigger than the national championship. It's bigger than the Big Ten championship. This is the biggest single game
hmm,
of your college career. Some people say you work all year to get to this game. No, you work your entire life to get to this game. If you can, as long as you are breathing and have a pulse, take that back. You don't need to breathe. As long as you just have a pulse. Doesn't have to be strong. Just have a pulse. You are playing in
right.
this game. You're playing to win. Beat them like you want to. Do your job. Go blue. That's what he said, and I thought it was great, and I think they'll be ready to go on us.
All right, sounds good. I think Ohio State coming in with the exact same mentality should be a good game. It's been a great episode of just vibing. Thanks for coming on. I'd love to continue the series next month. I'll bring on someone else, and yeah, stay tuned for more episodes of Sports Vibe as well. And enjoy the rest of your holiday weekend.